What's going on, family? It's your guy, Boro the Lucky Libra. Thank you for tuning into another episode. As you can see, we're picking up the signs through the 7th house series with Taurus in the 7th house. Shout out to all my Scorpio risings in the building. All right. So before we get into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe, tap into my Patreon if you like to dive deeper. Tap into my website if you like to connect with the Lucky Libra. Let's get right into it. Now, we know the 7th house deals with relationships, one-on-one relationships, one-on-one interactions, what we may experience a lot of the time dealing with connecting with others in a one-on-one level, what we may experience a lot of the times, within our intimate romantic relationships, right? What we may experience dealing with people out in the world, and what we start to learn about ourselves through others. Okay, so when we got Taurus in this house, this is my Scorpio risings. All right, Taurus in the 7th house. So Taurus ruled by Venus. We got Earth here. So Venus deals with love, relatability, value, self-esteem. Then we got Earth here dealing with stability, structure, right? Practicality, right? So when we get into relations here, what can we expect to experience with Taurus in the 7th house? We can experience some stable relationships. Scorpio could get picky here, and when it connects with somebody, it wants to make sure it feels secure, stable. It likes to deal with people that is not gonna feel rushed at times with in the 7th house. Scorpio rising don't like nobody rushing them. So when they get into the 7th house, that's how that shit could play out. You feel me? Somebody that could move with a certain pace. Now, the thing is, Scorpio is water. Do deal with being in their feelings or looking at things from that subconscious aspect. And when we get into the 7th house, you have to learn how to be more, it can't be about your personal intention all the time in the relationship. You got to learn how to cooperate with Taurus in the 7th house. You may manifest a real reliable or stable partner a lot of the times, Taurus in the 7th house. Somebody that's resourceful, somebody that give a lot, and they're low key teaching you, high key teaching you how to share, how to cooperate a little bit more. Mars is the chart ruler here, Scorpio rising. So, when it comes to your passions, intentions, getting yours, you're gonna make sure you get yours out the pot. Let's just leave it at that. I ain't gonna go that too deep in that. You gonna make sure you get yours out the pot. So Taurus in the 7th house could start to, like I said, teach you how to share and circulate and give some more. You'll start manifesting situations in the 7th house where your relationships will try to get you to connect more of what's hidden in the 1st house. So you could be dealing with individuals, and you could carry, and it's your 1st house. It's not something you're doing consciously. A Sun in Scorpio's doing things consciously in a Scorpio way. This is your personality, So when you're connecting with people as a Scorpio rising, you may have this mysteriousness to you, a certain mystique, and it could come off for other people dealing with you, connecting with you. Reading you can be a mystery. So with Taurus in the 7th house, man, they have a way of pulling that out of you. They can make an environment feel soft, understanding, and nurturing, and they could jump into that Venus energy. Starts getting Mars to start coughing up what happened at school, why he really frustrated about things, telling him it's gonna be all right, calm down. So you start experiencing that in the 7th house. So I'm gonna start feeling like, you like the sense of stable relationships, but now that could feel vulnerable with Taurus and with Venus energies in your 7th house. Having to connect with others, build with others, and sometimes you can't be so hidden, or sometimes you got to be bit more expressive. Sometimes you gotta be able to relate some emotion that's you wanted to keep that emotion hidden because you feel like connecting that, putting that in the light, puts you in a vulnerable state in a relationship. But man, Taurus in the 7th house gonna pull that out of you. Taurus in the 7th house gonna pull that out of you. Venus gonna pull that out of you. The moon energy is gonna pull that out of you in Taurus. Moon exalted in Taurus. Don't forget that. It's gonna be situations you gotta stop and think about things within your relationships, because you may like I said, having Scorpio in the 1st house, you're driven by a lot of your personal instincts. So when I get into Taurus, a relationship gonna sit you down and make you understand how to cooperate a bit more. So this could bring the power and control issues here. You got to be careful of being used or using others, Scorpio risings, in your relationships. You know, so Taurus, this is why Taurus is here to help stabilize and bring an understanding, bring a certain sense of patience, so you could experience that true connection. You can experience building a rapport, to understand how reliable, stable somebody is, to understand how much they give, share, how much humility they have, or how much they're willing to sacrifice, or how, like, all of those things. You gotta give yourself a chance to experience those things, Scorpio, instead of just trying to sometimes get in relationships, get what you want, or just come off the rip trying to personally dictate things. So that's how Taurus will play out in that seventh house a whole lot of the time. Now, we need to know where Venus is at. We need to know where Venus is at. Whatever house you got Venus at is going to influence a lot of what goes on in the seventh house. Could meet a lot of people with bread that motivates Mars in the first house some more too. You experience that. You got friends that know celebrities, older, distant family and shit that may be up and shit. Friends that know other friends that's up. Like, I don't know, because Taurus in the seventh house is just gonna experience some form of security and stability, and a deal with materialism. So you may be able to connect to things in the material world, in the physical realm, or learn more how to build stability and security through a lot of people you meet in this lifetime. It's almost like you meet the plug a lot here, Scorpio rising, and don't nobody know you're a Scorpio rising. Don't nobody know you know the plug the whole time, man. People think you just working your job, getting money the whole time. You Taurus in the seventh house. You meet all type of people that could put you on game, and that puts you in a position for you to be more stable to others in the seventh house. Okay, but beware of them power and control issues. Beware of that. It'll come through things dealing with Venus and Mars energies. So certain pleasures that's exchanged, resources that's exchanged, lust energy in the air that keeps the relationship in a certain bind or whatnot. You got to be careful understanding what's the root of what's going on in your relationship, and what's the foundation. Those two key words. Scorpio deals with the root, Scorpio builds the foundation. So those two things are always got to be understood getting into relationships you are, because if not, those relationships can cause a lot of transformation, period. You're just a Scorpio rising, you're really going to experience a lot of transformation in your personal life, but understanding how the lessons going to come and how to prevent shit that you don't have to experience is understanding how to be more cooperative in your relationships. Just like we all got to learn in the seventh house in some type of shape or form. A lot of people, especially your partner, going to teach you a lot about stabilizing something you're passionate about, or something that's hidden into the physical realm, for others to be able to connect to and make it tangible. This may be your own partner, somebody you dated or whatnot, or people that you connect to out in the open world. You may catch a lot of influences of people that you do build a rapport with, trying to motivate you to connect something that you're into out into the world to stabilize it. Yep. That's what we got with Taurus in the seventh house. Just want to make sure. Yep, that's the general overview here. Okay, so Scorpio rising, y'all gotta hold it down. You gotta when it comes to I just say you got it mad times. It brought that one song up in my head. You gotta be known, you gotta be stronger. It sounded like I was about to start singing that shit. But look, Scorpio here in the first house and Taurus in the seventh house, man, this energy, because I always like to say, once again, Scorpio is the root. So it's like the root and the plant is connected. You can see the plant stable, the tree stable, this, that, and the third. That's the Taurus energy. Under it is the root. So you get into a lot of relationships at times having to teach people how to deal with what's under them, the subconscious. So you may attract a lot of superficial partners. I'm glad I didn't miss that. The Scorpio rising will be attracting a lot of superficial partners at time, or it almost feel like at times it's hard to connect with people. That's why you got to know the house that Venus is in, the house lord. This is the area where you're going to connect with people harmoniously. But it almost could feel like, it'd be hard to connect with people that ain't mundane thinkers, people with depth. You know, people that deal with the subconscious, you know, deal with their shadows, people that look at things deeper, people that's not just shallow, real materialistic. You know, so Scorpio, yeah, they may want to go get theirs when it comes to security and stability. Best believe that. That's 8th house energy. They're going to get right financially. That's going to be a pursuit here. But with Taurus in the 7th house, you know, it could play out in that sense where what you attract here, people, they just real focus or in motion with things in the physical realm, and it seems to be like that's the thing that matters the most a lot of the time. And you know, Scorpio rising gonna be deeper than that. So if they feel like they could connect with somebody at a deeper level, you know, that's something that's actually like, wow, okay, damn, this might have potential. Like, you know, they think a little deeper about things. You know, their responses to some questions could tell me, I could tell, even though it was the first date, or I could tell, you know, it's first conversation with that, you know, the way that they even reply to certain things, that there's some depth to the way they think or perceive things. So that could be like a hard, that balance, that what they try to find, seek in relationships at times, Scorpio rising here, and what they may have to deal with Taurus in there, you know. And that's no shade on Taurus energy, saying Taurus can't go, you know, deep. But that's the sister sign. This is what y'all teaching each other. Sometimes Scorpio is too deep. Sometimes Scorpio is too hidden. It's like you got to raise up, you know, get active in the physical realm. You know, use the occult and the subconscious to manipulate the physical realm. This is what Taurus gets into. That's how Taurus look at spirituality, all right? So that's Scorpio, man. Taurus in the 7th house for my Scorpio risings. Y'all already know the vibe, man. Like, share, subscribe. Next episode, we getting into Gemini in the 7th house, okay? Make sure to tap into the Patreon to connect with the Lucky Libra and dive deeper. My website in the link and all that, family. Until next time, peace.